When I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite. Where the fuck? What? What? I'm so confused. What? 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 Ah!
These letters have just now been delivered to Mr. Kringle by bona fide employees of the post office. I offer them as positive proof that a competent...
3 letters, Your Honor, are hardly positive proof. I understand the post office receives thousands of these letters every year.
I have further exhibits, Your Honor, but I hesitate to produce them.
So last year I reviewed the 1994 Miracle on 34th Street. And fun fact, it's the only one I'd ever seen. Until now! Oh, yeah. So this year, I decided to sit down and watch this one, okay? And I was both excited and I had some trepidation about it because normally I go in when there's an original and a remake. In movies and TV, whatever, normally I have a pretty strong belief that, you know, the vast majority of the time, the original's better. However, I have seen the 1994 version 10, 12 times. I watch it, you know, most years at Christmas time with my family, and I love it. You know, I love it. I hold it in very high regard. You can check out my review of it from last year if you want to see. But this original version, I was kind of like going, it's unlikely, with me having watched the remake that many times, that I'm really going to love this version as much. What? Well, we'll see. So, I mean, you know the story. Probably, right? An old man, a jolly old man, is wandering around New York on Thanksgiving when he finds the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Santa is a little bit intoxicated, and the lady in charge of the parade gives him the gig instead. After that, it all goes pretty well. Let's say he's not bad at being Santa Claus. He gets a job at Macy's as their store Santa, and he starts, you know, shaking things up a little bit. And then he decides to start giving the lady who was in charge of the parade and her daughter and their nice lawyer friend, it kind of teaches them about, you know, the power of Christmas and the power of belief, especially. Is this a religious story? However, soon enough, you know, he starts talking a little bit too much about how he really believes his name is Kris Kringle and he's Santa Claus, and he gets arrested. Well, no, in this version, actually, I think he's just sent to an asylum or whatever, and then they try to get him out, and that's why the... well, not trial happens, it's an appeal or whatever. It's a courtroom. It's a courtroom scene, you know? And basically, their lawyer friend then has to try and prove, impossibly, that he is in fact Santa Claus. So the same old story you know and love from other versions, but that kind of extra sweet old injection of Hollywood brand comedy, writing and visuals about it, that old style. Which was the bigger miracle? Here is my 1 minute review for Miracle on 34th Street, 1947. So let's set aside the story, okay? Most of it anyway, because, you know, the 1994 version followed this in most of the broad brushstrokes, okay? There are a couple of things. This is a simpler version of the story, I think, for sure. I liked that the actual villain came from inside their own store. You know, the guys at the rival store, they ended up being quite nice, shaking hands over this whole, you know, send customers to each other's stores deal. The court case, in the end, I definitely preferred this version because as much as it was a nice moment, Mara Wilson walking up to the judge and giving the thing, this was more of an actual courtroom, you know, ending. Like the whole final act felt a lot more like a courtroom film, a courtroom drama, as opposed to this whatever the 1994 version was. It wasn't really that. For all that this version is a simpler, kind of more serious version of the story, it feels like it's got more comedy injected into it, while that remake feels darker in tone, but sillier. It's so weird. But I am gonna say, I think I prefer this version, so I'm giving Miracle on 34th Street 88 out of 100. Sweet, just old style Hollywood with this kind of sweet, sentimental story. They just nailed it every time, guys. You know, they knew how to do it. And that's all for this one, folks. Well, you better go. What's that down there? A little subscribe button. You could check that out if you want. Yeah, it's pretty close to Christmas. It's a very nice Christmas gift. You know, we're very close to 900 now. I would very much appreciate that as a Christmas gift. I will cry. I'll probably cry if I make 900.